Order of New Church Live today.
Morning, friends. Pastor Chuck Blair here, and today we're going to do is continue on with our theme of blessings. And today we're looking at a blessing from Kate Bowler, wonderful podcaster. Highly recommend her podcast as she talks about a blessing after loss. God, we are heartbroken in the face of so much grief. What could we possibly call blessed? Could we try? Blessed are we who allow ourselves to feel it, the impossibility of what was possible only a second ago. The light decision, the casual stroll, the easy exchange, an ordinary duty, a decent choice or a nothing one. The sweep of hours on a day that was like any other until it wasn't. This is the place where nothing makes sense. This is the place where tears show up without permission. Blessed are we who allow our hearts to break, for it will be some time for brittle unreality to release us back into the land of the living. We have seen and lost what we never should have. Blessed are we even in the moments when we are convinced, absolutely sure, that there is nothing untouched by the ashes of loss. God, you are an architect, and everything I have is in ruins. Promise me that someday something will stand after so much fell. It's a very poignant blessing. And I think it's one that we can all relate to. All of us here, joined collectively, have had a threshold moment. And a threshold moment, it's where life was one way on one side, another way on the other side. And sometimes that can be a very positive thing. And sometimes it can be a really disastrous thing, something that really is very heartbreaking. And the challenge of that, friends, right, is that one author talked about the ghosts of loss getting into us, and that's what can happen. The ghost of loss gets into us. We can have that feeling that everything's kind of turned to ashes, that there isn't even the possibility of that light conversation, the easy walk in the afternoon, the lightness of being that we can experience so much in so many of our days. And when we really hit a hard moment, all that disappears. And the challenge is that it's very easy to feel like this will last forever. A lot of people worry that this will just be the way it always is. And what I can safely say with that is we never move completely past loss, and we certainly never get back to a golden stage as if loss had never occurred. We don't move past it, we move forward with it. We carry the losses of our lives, we carry them with us throughout our lives, and they do serve a purpose in terms of, and it's really hard to describe, like uh, as we go through loss and the losses of life, and we see friends and family go through their own set of losses, life does indeed become much more poignant and precious. And I would not say better. I'd be really careful about that, because sometimes maybe that's true, sometimes maybe it's not true. But the preciousness, we definitely see the preciousness increase. And what is it to have faith in those moments? Well, is to have faith that God, as it says in the blessing, that God's an architect, and God, where so much has fallen, God will rebuild something. Now, it doesn't mean that God kind of like collapses the building so he can pick up building blocks and start rebuilding stuff or teach us a lesson about how to rebuild stuff. He said the building collapses, our life goes through a traumatic time period, and God over time will build something out of that. Now, will it be better, or will we see it as like, wow, life is so much more improved than it was before the bad event? Some events, that's clearly not going to be true. Some events, like the loss, is just so great. It's just a loss we carry, and life never will be better in that sense. But again, life will be richer, and it'll have a preciousness to it, a really deep preciousness to it that's very hard to describe. And I've experienced this myself, and I've walked this walk with other people, and that I can safely say that is where God is the architect and continues to build. So the blessing, again, folks, for those of you who are facing loss, is just to breathe with it, and just to acknowledge that, yep, there are seasons of that. There are seasons, and I'm very aware that there are seasons. Anytime we do anything at New Church Live, I'm fully aware there are those people who are gathering with us who are right in the middle of that. So if you're one of those people today, just maybe this blessing can help just a little bit with just giving it some frame, giving it a little bit of peace, giving it a little way to just breathe and just remember that God is there too. Friends and family, there with you too in times that can feel so desperate. So that's the blessing for the day, folks. And what we're going to do now, as we do with 10 minutes of calm, is now we're going to take a little breath. Then we're going to ease into a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing. And yeah, we will not be saying hi to folks on social media today, but we certainly will be responding in written form. So feel free to leave your comments and we'll respond in due kind. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath and listen to a little meditation. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you, keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, wishing you all